Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Boonaa Mohammed here with another episode of Boonaafide here exclusively on DOPStv. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have way too many Muslim doctors in the world. There are way too many Muslim engineers, way too many IT professionals, too many Muslim students studying bio this or chem that. Granted, my background has always been in the arts, so anything that has to do with math or science kind of puts me to sleep. But I know I'm not alone. There are many young Muslim kids who I speak with all the time who tell me that they're being forced to study science or mechanical engineering or some type of medicine because their parents feel as though they need to have financial security. Because of that, they're being blackmailed into going into professions which they absolutely couldn't care less about. I get it. I mean, nobody wants to be broke. But at the same time, nobody wants to be doing something they absolutely hate. I mean, forcing themselves to go to work every single day just to pay the bills, especially when they have the chance of doing otherwise. Let me tell you something about me that some of you maybe don't know. I actually was the first child in my family to attend university. And after I graduated high school, you know, I was valedictorian in my graduating class. I got all these really great entrance scholarships. My parents were super excited because I was the first one in their family to really, you know, have this opportunity. The only problem was I was this 18-year-old kid that just really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And political science and communication studies seemed like interesting topics to study? I don't know. But little did I know, these were probably the two most pointless programs you could study in university. And by like my second month in university, I realized that this was not what I wanted to do with my life. And I had to make a very serious decision that would actually drastically change the course of my life forever. I decided to drop out of school. I know, right? And to Muslim parents, that's like the equivalent of suicide. And needless to say, my parents were not happy about it at all. But I knew it wasn't worth me wasting the next 4 years of my life and wasting, I don't know how many thousands of dollars going into a program, going into a profession which I don't think I was ever going to enjoy. My father didn't speak to me for months. I lost all my scholarships. I had no money. And I was really just in a very bad situation. I was very confused and lost as to what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. But in that time, I made a very conscious decision that I was going to pursue what I was passionate about, because life is more than just making money. And I realized that I had a greater purpose that I wanted to serve upon this earth, and that program, that university just wasn't doing it for me. So in that time, I was going through this kind of transition. I started actually writing poetry. Now I had all this bottled up frustration and anger. I really started putting my pen to the pad and trying my best to articulate the feelings that I was going through. And slowly I started sharing my work with more individuals. I started going to venues and events where there were opportunities to perform. I started entering into poetry competitions. I started winning a few of them, and slowly but surely my audience base grew and I was getting more opportunities to do something which I actually loved. See, I always knew that I loved storytelling. I always knew that I was passionate about, you know, creative thought and expression and media, but I just didn't really know how I was going to pursue that at a professional level. And so my father, who previously was not very supportive of me dropping out of school, he saw that I was doing something that I was passionate about and that I was actually going to make something out of my life, whether I had education in that field or not. So he actually went out there and bought me my very first camera. He got me a computer and he got me the tools that I needed to help pursue my passion, which was storytelling, filmmaking, poetry, and creative expression and thought. And in that 1 year span, I had really become an established poet. I had actually started my own multimedia production company and I was doing videos and short commercials for different organizations. I was just trying to get my foot in the door whatever way I could. And I actually had a mentor at the time that told me about a program at a local university that was the top media program in all of Canada, and that if I was to apply for it and I got in, that I was guaranteed success in this field. But I figured I already tried the university route. It wasn't really for me. Although I realized that having a university education, having a bachelor's degree, especially in this day and age, is very essential. So I said, okay, let me give it a shot. I'm gonna apply for this program. If I get in, great. If I don't get in, great. I'm still gonna pursue what I wanna pursue because this is my passion and nobody's gonna stop me. I don't need a piece of paper to prove to the world that I can do what I love. So I decided to apply for that program and no other program outside of that. And alhamdulillah, from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I actually ended up getting accepted into the program. And for the next 4 years, I learned, I studied, and I breathed this beautiful craft of storytelling, of art, of creative thought. And I was really honored and blessed to do so. And you know, I think back to myself now that if I had an opportunity, I wouldn't have done it any other way. Because that time that I took off from school really allowed me to evaluate what it is I wanted to do with my life. And that time was so important because it helped shape what I'm doing today. Now, my story sounds unique, but it's really not. There are many people who leave behind boring jobs or mundane educational backgrounds to pursue opportunities which are greater than themselves. So if you're a person who wants to pursue your passion, but you just are not really there yet, I want to share with you a few gems that I took away from my own life experience. Number one, do something with your life that is going to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make your work a form of ibadah. Sure, doctors save lives every single day, but what about social workers? What about the teachers who teach those people? What about entering fields like media or politics, other places where Muslims are completely underrepresented? You can actually help affect serious change in this ummah by pursuing your passion if it means doing something outside the typical Muslim norm. Secondly, we all have skills and unique talents and abilities that can help contribute to the betterment of our society, even if you haven't discovered what that talent or skill is as of yet. I think back to the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he would delegate certain tasks to his companions. For example, Khalid bin Walid was known for his military excellence, whereas another companion like Hassan ibn Thabit was known for his poetry. Everybody had their strengths and everybody worked together to help make the ummah stronger. Lastly, cultivate confidence within yourself and believe that you can achieve your goals. It may not come easy, you're gonna have to put in that hard work, but don't deny yourself the opportunity to succeed. And you'll always hear that little voice in the back of your head saying, you're dumb, you're inadequate, you can't accomplish anything. But the sooner you realize that's just your fear talking, the sooner you can overcome that little voice and you can actually start pursuing your passion for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah grant you all tawfiq and allow you to do what you love in this life and in the next. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boonaafide. I'll see you next time here exclusively on DOPStv. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hold a second.
And I don't mean this fake like interfaith kumbaya world
diagrams and all of that. So I was ready to move away from my notes and my